Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. I like this angle better than lying down on my pillow. I don't like to see the shadow of the phone on my face, so this feels better to me. All right, so today I wanted to talk about manifestation. Individual manifestation versus collective manifestation. And what I wanted to focus on within that is how our views of manifestation can change along our spiritual path. And of course, this is coming from my personal experience. Can't speak for everybody, but I do think that it's applicable and may be applicable to other people. So let's get into it. So when it comes to manifestation, a lot of the focus within the spiritual community is around how we as individuals can learn to manifest what it is that we want, what we desire. And I think that makes sense because for a long time we've kind of been out of that power. We've been out of that ability in the sense that we haven't been connected to it very well until more recently. So we're working on getting that power back of really getting clear on what we want and taking mindful action steps and making manifestation a co-creative process with forces that are beyond just our will, right? So we're focusing on that individually so we can create the life that we want so that we no longer have to live an unfulfilling life, right? So that's typically how you see this working. You know, you see people manifesting houses and babies and husbands and cars, and a lot of it is material. You know, that's just how it is. I'm not saying all of it, but a lot of it from what you see, like on pages where people promote like their business in manifestation process stuff, it's usually material, or like traveling or whatever. So this seems to be the primary focus when it comes to manifestation in the spiritual community. Very individual. And that's how it's been for me too for a long time, is it's been just focused on me getting my stuff together, me getting my mind together, getting clear on what my personal wounds and blocks are and what's keeping me stuck in a space of repeating, personal like experiences that cause suffering and torment unnecessarily. So that is a part of the spiritual growth process. Is the process of manifestation really helps us to get in touch with what our issues are and helps us to really clarify what we need to heal so we can fully like experience life in an abundant way, the way that we're meant to experience it. Okay? But here are some changes that I've noticed more recently for myself. And I will say that I think this is because of where my motivations are as someone who has a desire to help people that are on the spiritual journey, but then also help the world in some way. I have a desire actually to create ripples in the world. And my work for me is not just spiritual, it's real world work. And I think I've talked about this before, that for me, it's not just about helping people to get more clear on their energy and themselves, yes, but what that results in the real world, the byproduct of that, of how that changes real world experience. So it's a balance of both for me. So I want to preface what I'm going to say now with that. I have a desire to actually change our society. So what I've noticed more recently is that my manifestations are no longer just about me. I want to see things change collectively. Which means that, like, what I'm noticing is my desire for myself, let's say, for manifesting greater abundance and experiencing it more fully is no longer enough. In the sense that I've come to the conclusion that being within this world, I'm not going to be able to experience the full magnitude of abundance if the nature and the structure of our society is the way that it is. Society has a way by which it operates and value systems in place where you are only of value if you can do X, Y, and Z. It's all based on what you can do. And depending on who you're talking to, how you look, you know? It's just crazy. But anyway, I don't want to get too much into that. But yes, we have a value system in place in our society, especially in the West, Western civilization. And I feel that, one, again, my desire to experience more abundance in my life cannot go to the full magnitude that I'd like to see it go if society remains the way that it is. Because my experience of abundance must include the world. I know that's a tall order. I'm not saying that I want everybody to change. Like, I'm not attached to that outcome. I'm not. But there is a call in my heart to start making things happen in the real world so that it's not just me or Freddie or Casey that's living an abundant life. We're living in a world that's aligned with the truth of life, the truth of this universe, and it's that abundance is all around us. Now, if we go out into nature, we're always seeing that. We're always, that's always kind of showing itself to us. We may not think about that. We don't. We don't really think about that. We just, when we go outside, we see leaves, we see trees, we see birds, but we're not thinking about the idea that nature is abundant. Like, nature is abundant by nature, right? So the natural world is abundant, but the society in which we've created does not allow us to really experience that and explore that and really embody that. To a degree, if you want to just focus on yourself, and I'm not criticizing you, but I'm just saying there is a difference. If you primarily want to focus on yourself and you just want the house, you just, you want the car, or you just want to be materially like comfortable, then maybe the way that things are is okay for you, as long as you're comfortable. And that's fine. For me, it's very different. One, I'm not going to say that material things aren't important, because I want to be comfortable too. And I want to be in a space that supports me and my needs, right? So I'm not saying the material stuff isn't important, but I do feel that we need to start expanding our view of what it means to be abundant, which means that our values need to change. What do we value in this society? And how do we value people? What purpose are they serving? Besides being pack mules. And people, it's like, unless you are able to do such and such, then you're useless. Or unless you've struggled and almost killed yourself for the money that you have, you don't deserve it. No. I was actually reading an article that was posted on Yahoo about how homelessness has really increased within the last few years. And not just homelessness from what we assume causes homelessness, which for a lot of people, it's mental illness and drug use. And I'm not saying that's inaccurate, but there are many things that can cause people to have that problem. What this article was talking about was homelessness with people who have jobs. They're working, sometimes more than one job, and they're homeless, or they're on the brink of homelessness. And I'm sorry, that infuriated me when I saw that, because there are a few areas, if you go on my website and look at my personal values, you'll see all the things that I've listed on there, but there's one that I haven't listed. There's two values, things that are very important to me. That's homelessness and that's hunger. I take those things seriously, okay? And I think going kind of like segueing into another aspect of this is why it's very important for us, whatever we want to call ourselves, light workers, change makers, etc., that we become very realistic about what's going on in this world right now. I'm not saying that we have to allow the world to trap us. We do not. It's not about allowing the world to trap us into a certain way of thinking. Anyway, we're working on transcending that thinking anyway. What I'm talking about is being very open and allowing ourselves to be vulnerable in the way that we approach the world. Like, what is actually happening? What is happening with people? What do people have to deal with on a regular basis? You know, instead of trying to kind of isolate ourselves by saying, well, I create my reality, and yes, that might be true, but you don't live in this world by yourself. You live in a world with other people. And if you want to create love, or bring in love and light, or all these things that you say that you do, then other people's experience must be considered. It has to be. We are not in this world by ourselves. Okay? So this is why I feel like it's very important for people to, especially people in the spiritual field, to be very honest with themselves about what's going on. And also honest with themselves about what it is they're really after. Why are you doing this work? What changes do you hope to make? Maybe for some people, they don't want to really create changes in the physical world. They just want to focus on the etheric stuff and then let other people have their hand in the societal stuff. And that's okay too, as long as you're honest about it. That's okay. Just be honest. Just be honest about what it is that what your motivations are, what your intentions are, and what your goals are. But for me, just speaking from my experience, I have found that I can no longer, I guess, separate myself from what is happening in the world. Like I said, it does bother me to a degree, but I also have a lot of faith in what it is that I came here to do. I have a lot of confidence in that. It is hot, y'all. I have a lot of confidence in that. So it does bother me, but I'm also like, no, this is what I was put here for. So, and I always had it in my heart and in my mind, even when I was a little girl, that I knew I wanted to make real world changes. I knew I wanted to, one of my dreams as a little girl was actually to go to countries like, let's say, Africa, or, other areas of the world that needed assistance and actually help them. Like, that was one of my dreams as a little girl. So, and I'm just sharing that with you to let you know that this has been a very long, a long desired dream of mine. So I knew coming in what I would be doing. So, that's basically what I wanted to talk about. And may this be a disclaimer to you that for some of you, that may happen. That may happen. Where at first you may feel like you're okay with just focusing on yourself, but that may change depending on how far you go in this journey and depending on, your personal soul stuff in this lifetime and what you're meant to do here. There's nothing wrong either way, but just know for some people listening to this, that may change if you're mainly individually focused. All right. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. All right, everyone, sending you all tons of love and gratitude, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.